All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the Vendor's Edge podcast. Today, episode 10, we're going to be talking about balancing your vendor business with a day job. I know this is something that is a struggle, an issue, a challenge to a lot of vendors out there. When I was a vendor, this was definitely a struggle. When I became a vendor, I was active duty in the Navy, trying to juggle not only my military career with starting a new business that was based on a farmer's market, but I also had the transitioning period of retirement and throw in Hurricane Michael that happened. So I can really empathize and relate with you on some of the challenges and struggles that are persistent when you're balancing that full-time job and your market job and trying to make some decisions on whether I want to commit fully to my market job or if I really just like the balance of doing both. But even if you like the balance of doing both, there are some challenges. We're going to identify those challenges. We're going to get into some strategy, some tips to help you with that, some things to think about to maximize and be more efficient um, with your market job. So we're super excited to have you here today. I'm Bill Davenport with Anchored Market Ventures. We're your number one source for vendor knowledge and empowerment. We run local farmers markets throughout the Florida Panhandle, and we love helping and seeing vendors succeed at their local market. But jumping into today's episode, we're going to be talking about identifying some challenges. It's real important if or it's not if it's real important when you're balancing your market job and your real job. I say real job, I think a market job is a real job, but just trying to delineate the two. You got to identify challenges, and there are some common challenges that are across the board to all vendors that are doing dual jobs, a market job and a non-market job. When it comes to your market job, it, it seems like we all have a limited amount of time for preparation, for production, and for marketing. That's really the three key challenges is trying to figure out the time for preparation, whether you're farming, you're growing fruits and vegetables, you're a cottage baked goods person, so you're making, those muffins and cupcakes and artisan bread. You're a woodworker, so finding time to get out into the shop to make some of those unique and awesome creations that you make. And then once you get that production done and that preparation done, you still got to find time to market and do some branding. So those are really some time challenges that we face as vendors. And on top of that, we face physical fatigue and mental fatigue because let's be honest, working a full-time job and then working a market business, which in many regards is a full-time job, that can be just physically and mentally taxing to us. So when you're running for a lot of us a side business with the hopes of making it our full-time business, we got to be mindful of taking care of our bodies and taking care of our mind. Those are two things that if we let go to the wayside can cause some serious problems to us, which will affect that business. And that's a huge challenge. We also have to balance family time, our social commitments. A lot of us are a part of different organizations in our community. We're a part of PTOs and PTAs with our kids' schools, um, and personal downtime. We need to manage and have a little bit of us time to be able to clear our mind, to relax, and just get away from the day in and day out hustle and bustle of life. So there's a balancing act right there. And then we throw in on top of that with these challenges, managing financials, that can put a strain on us, trying to budget for our market business and get supplies for it and come up with money for the fees. So all of these are challenges that are pretty common across the board for us vendors, but these are challenges that we can attack head on, that we can streamline to some extent, that we can make more efficient so that those strains aren't as big of strains. Some of our smaller strains we eliminate, and that makes us able to handle the weight of a full-time job and a market business. So let's jump into some strategies. We got time management. Time management is crucial. I think the worst enemy to a business person, which as a vendor, you're a business person, one of the biggest enemies is not having a game plan. You should know when I have the opportunity to work on my market business today, these are the one thing I need to accomplish, the two things I need to accomplish, the three things. It doesn't matter how many things you accomplish. It can be one thing, it can be three, it can be five. That is up to you. But you need to create a schedule. And when you create that schedule, there needs to be a plan. You might be asking, "Well, how do I schedule?" The first thing you wanna do is block off some dedicated time for your vendor business that's outside of your work hours. So, this can be right when you get home. I know a lot of us have kids, so for me personally, with Anchored Market Ventures and a lot of our podcast and our market, farmers market stuff, my branding, a lot of my marketing and promotional stuff. I set aside time each night after 8 o'clock when my kids go to bed. So that way my wife is getting a little bit of personal time. I'm getting a little bit of personal time to be able to work on business. But you got to create time. And you do that by blocking off that time in your schedule and you stick to it. And then once you create that block time, now you got to create tasks that you need to get done. You want to maybe do product creation, do some bookkeeping during that time, do marketing, do some event prep. There's a lot of things that you can do, but I recommend making a list, prioritizing that list, and then looking at your schedule for the week on each of your block time and saying, all right, these are the most important things. On Monday, I can accomplish this, or this is what I want to accomplish. Tuesday, this is what I want to accomplish. Wednesday, we're not doing anything. That's family time. That's whatever you have allocated to. Thursday, this is what I'm getting done. Friday is prep. Now it's all prep to get ready for the market on Saturday. So prioritize your task. First, you want to identify what your tasks are, prioritize them, and then break them out throughout your block times that you've scheduled throughout the week. Another thing that you can do for time management is leverage your free time. And what I mean by leveraging your free time is there's little pockets of free time that we have throughout a day that we can accomplish some tasks that don't take a lot of time. As an example, while you're at work, use your lunch break to do a little bit of uh, responding to emails or sending out emails that you got to send out. You can work on maybe making some posts for marketing, setting up some auto posters, getting some posts done for that week scheduled up. But you can use a little bit of your downtime. Say you got a break at work, listen to a podcast or a little bit of educational material that's relevant to what you're doing. So you want to leverage your free time so that that free time is being productive and working for you. Another thing we can do for our time management is learn to automate and to delegate. And I know you're probably thinking, Bill, what's automate and delegate? Well, what it boils down to is you can use scheduling apps. I know, like on my phone right here, I have a program as part of the business tools. I'm gonna look it up so I give you the right name. It's the Business Suite. It's Facebook and Instagram's Business Suite. I don't use it as much as I should. It's something that I need to be more intentional on, but I do use it. And when I use it, it is phenomenal. I can schedule posts. So I can have it schedule one, two, three, however many posts that I create. It'll post on Facebook and Instagram throughout the week. So you're already getting that marketing and your posts done instead of sitting each day making those posts. If you have a little bit of time, you can sit there and make all of them for the week, put them in the business suite, and then it automatically posts it on Facebook and Instagram for you. So you can use some scheduling apps for social media and then delegate tasks like packaging your products. Get somebody to help with your booth setup, have somebody help with your inventory management. And a great source for that is your family and friends. You don't have to necessarily hire them as an employee. I'll tell you, a good meal goes a long ways. I'll tell you, when I was in the military, a case of beer went a long ways with your friends for having them help you out. And honestly, a lot of your friends want to help you. They want to help you succeed. So the barrier most of the time is just us asking. But ask your family, ask your friends, say, "Hey, I need some help with inventory. I need some help getting my product packaged up. I need help loading my booth setup into my vehicle, or I'm practicing setting my booth up and getting my display right, and I need an honest opinion. What are your thoughts? What do you see?" Because a lot of times another set of eyes see stuff differently than what we see it, and they can give us some really great feedback when it comes to our business. So when it comes to task, look to your family and friends and delegate some of your work. Let them help you be successful. And then that leads us right into maximizing efficiency at events. This is a big thing when you're working a full-time job and a market business, is maximizing that time you have at markets, because trust me, not every market is just slammed from start to finish. Now, I'll tell you, as a market manager, I really wish it was, but the realities is there is some downtime throughout that market that you can use to your advantage. So, to be able to maximize your time at an event really starts the day before the event. And that's your packing your vehicle, double checking your inventory so that you have the right amount of product on hand at that market. It's laying out your event day attire. You want to do as much pre prep before that market as possible. So when you wake up, grab that cup of coffee, grab that orange juice, whatever it is that you get going with in the morning. Your clothes are already laid out. You can get dressed quick. Your car's loaded up. So all you got to do is go out there, hop in it, and go to the market. And the start of your day is already good to go. Another thing we can do as vendors is keep our booth design simple. That's a great way to be efficient at your event. You don't have to have this super elaborate bells and whistles type of booth to be successful at a market. And honestly, you there is a line there where you go from being a great booth setup to too much, and it goes from being a full booth to a cluttered booth. And you want to avoid getting into that too much and too cluttered of a booth, because that is a deterrent to potential customers. It's overwhelming. So try your best to keep a simple booth design. Now you can still incorporate the colors, the texture, the depth, elevating product in your booth, but you can keep it simple at the same time. And that also helps with your time management, because a simple booth display normally is a quick and easy booth to get set up, and it's a quick and easy booth to get tore down at the end of the market. And then use checklist. We've talked about this on previous podcasts. We've talked about this in some of our market videos. Checklists are important. Our minds, as we age, are not as sharp as what they once were. We forget stuff. A checklist helps us not forget stuff, and a checklist sets us up for success. I'll tell you, post-it notes. I write stuff down all the time. I got some stuff written down on here right now. I got post-it notes all over here. I love post-it notes. Post-it notes are my brain. So they're a checklist here in my shop to help me be efficient, but I do have checklists that I go by to make sure I'm doing stuff that help keep me on schedule. And as a vendor, checklists help ensure you are doing all the steps that you need for packing your vehicle, making sure you have the right amount of inventory, that you have the right miscellaneous items, that you have extra labels and price tags, that you packed your signs, you packed your banner, you packed your table skirts, your shelves, whatever it is. Checklists make us successful. So be sure to use checklists to ensure nothing is forgotten. And then with maximizing efficiency at events, in that downtime, use it to network. So turn that downtime where if you just sat in your booth, you wouldn't be making money. Use it to network, which is setting yourself up. You're putting an investment into a future day of success. Network with other vendors when you're at a market and it's a little bit slower and you have a little bit of time to talk to your neighbor vendors around you, get to know them. It's a great opportunity that you wouldn't have otherwise, and you can do it while you're at the market, so you don't have to go out and allocate time out of your schedule block to go meet other vendors. Do it on spot, so you're doing a market day plus you're networking. It's also a great time to look at other booths, other products, other marketing techniques, and gather some ideas that'll help you improve. Some of that downtime, you can do a marketing post or two. You can, on those app automation apps like the business suite, you can make some more posts, make a couple posts during that downtime so that you're already ahead of the game when it comes to your allocated time to do that. And I'll tell you one that I think not enough vendors do, and I don't do it enough, but it's something I try to do is capture photos during your downtime at a market and create some video, create some B-roll. That B-roll you can edit it right here if you have an Apple phone. I'm sure Android has the same thing, but I can I can edit little B-roll 10, 15-second videos that I make on my phone, and then I can use that as marketing material for my product, for my business, for my market. So don't let that opportunity pass you by, and it's a great way of being efficient while you're doing an event. So when we're talking about management strategies and being efficient at a market, we wrote a book, or I wrote a book right here, Farmers Market Success, a comprehensive guide for vendors. It's 187 pages. It's from A to Z, and it's all about helping vendors, whether you're new to markets or you're a seasoned veteran at a market. This is a great book that's really filling the gap for information that's not out there all over the place. If you have questions about setting up a business, what's right for you, insurance, marketing, branding, we go over uh, meat vendors, dairy vendors, cottage food vendors, honey vendors, artisans, whether you're arts and crafts, from A to Z when it comes to farmers markets. And this also helps you out if you're craft shows and festivals, booth displays. This is meant to be a reference guide that you can turn to at any time and get going in the right direction. So when we go over this stuff, just know if you want a comprehensive guide as a resource, you can always purchase on Amazon Farmers Market Success, a comprehensive guide for vendors. This is my shameless plug for it, but I think this is a great asset. We have it in hardback and we have it in paperback, whichever you prefer, but definitely recommend it. Think it'll really help you as a vendor out going forward, and it'll be something that you can rely on for years to come. But that leads us into staying motivated and avoiding burnout at with your full-time job and your business market. Excuse me. How do we avoid burnout and how do we stay motivated? We set realistic goals. Realistic goals help us focus at the on the task at hand. We focus on small achievable goals each week, and that helps us keep from feeling overwhelmed. When we start getting overwhelmed, we stop doing stuff. A lot of times that's our market business. And once we get out of that groove, it can be hard to get back into the groove and get that motivation found again. So, to avoid losing it in the first place, focus on small, realistic goals. Break your jobs and your task up into small, digestible blocks so that you can achieve them. There's going to be times where we don't accomplish fully what we set out for that day, and that's fine. That is totally acceptable. Roll that little bit that you have left to do to your next block. Or maybe it's something that's okay. I'll just pick it up the following week when I work on this particular task. So it's okay to not complete a task fully sometimes, but we set ourselves up in the best position to complete them by making small achievable goals, and then we conquer them. Take care of your health. If you start not taking care of yourself, not getting adequate sleep, not eating right, that can start draining on us, and that'll lead to burnout quick, and it'll really zap our motivation. So it's important to sleep, to exercise, and I'm not talking you got to go to the gym and throw up weight and do a bunch of calisthenics. Take a walk around your block each day. Wake up in the morning, eat a good breakfast, get the kids off to school, drink your coffee, and then go for a walk. There's a lot of great things that you can do on the exercise piece that isn't overwhelming, but is good for you. Create some time for you to just relax, maybe meditate. We're blessed here in the Florida Panhandle. We can go sit on the beach and just admire the beauty of the ocean. You can go to the woods and listen to the birds chirp. There's a lot of things you can do. For me personally, I like going out to the chicken coop. My chickens are my regenerative source. Um, I also have a I'm gonna pull it up right here. For me, I have a little devotional reading that I get into. That helps keep me centered. It helps keep my mind right. So find out what works good for you for a little bit of relaxation that keeps the mind healthy on the mental aspect of it. But you really want to take care of your health. Don't let it slip. That's going to enable you to be able to handle doing a market business along with a full time job. And then celebrate the wins, celebrate the small wins, and celebrate the big wins. Wins are wins. So reward yourself for milestones such as hitting a sales target or mastering a new skill, whatever it is. Don't brush it off. Celebrate your wins. Those wins are what make you you, and they are what make you successful. Long term planning for growth. Invest in your business. You want to allocate part of your earnings from your market business to improve your booth, your product line, your marketing, your packaging, maybe and get a different banner, get a logo table skirt, whatever it is, invest some of that money back into your business because that investment is definitely going to help you be successful and it's going to pay for itself. It's going to make you more money. So allocate part of your earnings to improve your business. Evaluate your time commitment. Periodically assess whether your vendor business is worth pursuing full time or whether this is something that needs to be a part time endeavor. Sometimes this can be a very uncomfortable topic to to look at because honestly, it's looking at us, and it's like looking in a mirror, and it makes us have to be brutally honest with ourselves. And but having that brutally honest conversation can be one of the most rewarding things we can do as a vendor. It keeps us honest, it keeps us motivated, it helps us formulate a plan forward, and it helps us set achievable goals. So, periodically assess whether your business is best suited as a part time endeavor, a full time. It might start out as a part time endeavor, but you can create a path to make it a full time endeavor. But evaluate your time commitment and do it periodically. It's going to help you. And then build a support network, connect with other vendors. Other vendors understand the unique challenges of balancing both a business job or a market business and a full-time job. They understand the time constraints. They understand the challenges that each of us as a vendor are going through. So when you build that support network, it gives you people, friends, acquaintances that you can lean on for support, for understanding. They can help you out with knowledge, but you don't have to go through this alone. And building that network up helps ensure you don't go through this alone. And it helps your learning curve be a lot less of a curve than what it would be if you tried to go through this solo. So that kind of leads us with these were some challenges with doing a market business full time and having a full time job. Identifying the challenges is important, being efficient with our time, coming up with a game plan, taking care of ourselves, and making a long-term growth plan. These are all parts of that journey. And putting some time and thought into this helps us be successful as vendors, and it's going to help you grow and grow faster and better than if we were just kind of shooting from the hip and winging this as we went. But our challenges, these challenges are important to recognize. It's important to manage your time and avoid burnout and that loss of motivation. Tackling these, being mindful of these, will lead to big growth for you and your business over time. I hope you got something out of today's podcast. I really think this is an important topic. It's something that isn't talked about a whole lot, but this is the stuff as vendors we really have to allocate some time and some attention to. If you got some motivation out of this, you like this podcast, I'd love to have you guys subscribe, leave us some feedback, and share this podcast with your friends and other vendors in your network. We're all a big family. We're here to help each other. I'd love to have you email us or leave us a comment about some stories that you've had and some challenges that you've had with dealing with balancing a market business and a full-time job. There are some really unique challenges out there, some really unique situations, and I'd love to hear from them so that we all can learn. So definitely leave us a comment or shoot us an email with them, and we'd love to share them. But be sure to visit Anchored Market Ventures. If you visit us, we have a 125 tip ebook, totally free for vendors. We cover a lot of stuff with the market realm that these 125 tips will help you with. You can find it on our Anchored Market Ventures social media page on Facebook. We're putting it up on our website. You can click it, download it. It's a great guide that you can go to anytime. You can also purchase our Farmers Market Success comprehensive guide. This helps us be able to continue this and help you guys, but this is something you'll be able to turn back and reference for years. But we'd love to have you follow us. So follow us on Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok. We're on Twitter, which is now X. But Anchored Market Ventures, I'm Bill Davenport. You're on the Vendor's Edge podcast, and we can't wait to see you guys out at the next market.